Yo, what is up YouTube? Back with my weekly prediction videos. It is week 11 of the NFL season. There's one remaining undefeated team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, at 9-0. The Steelers will be playing the Jacksonville Jaguars this week in Jacksonville. This team is 1-8. This game is going to be fun just because you know the past between these two teams. So before I get into the video, I would like you to comment down below right now your score predictions for this game, the Steelers at the Jaguars. I asked the same question last week about the Steelers-Bengals game, and Juan Gomez was the closest to the score of the game. With a 38-10 prediction, he was 2 points off from the actual score of 36-10. Good job. And just remember, that could be you next week. Alright, let's get into the video. So here we have one of the best teams, probably the best team in the NFL, the undefeated Steelers, playing one of the worst teams with the worst records. With 8 straight losses, they are playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. Although the record says one thing, the Jaguars put up a good fight last week against the Green Bay Packers. This game was in Green Bay, and the Jaguars almost won and came off on top. I'm not going to say it was a good effort by the offense, but it sure was, a good effort by the special teams with that touchdown return. And the defense, I believe, had a couple impactful turnovers in Packer territory, which ultimately led to some Jaguar points. But on the other side of the ball, of course, we have the Steelers. This team had, the second or first best game of their year, along with that Cleveland Browns home game. This game was a dominant win for the Steelers. It was dominant on both sides of the ball. Joe Burrow could not throw the football. They had 0 third down conversions against the Steelers defense. Every time Burrow threw the football, it was either batted down, incomplete. Burrow was too scared. And you could see it. Second quarter, you could just see he was getting scared. Along with the Steelers' passing defense, their secondary, along with them playing good, of course, their defensive line also played really good. The rushing game was non-existent for the Bengals. Like I said, 0 third down conversions. Of course, TJ Watt has another monster game, 2 sacks, I believe. Monsters plays on third down, getting those sacks, so the Bengals would have to punt the football away. But that doesn't mean anything unless the Steelers offense does something. And they did. Big Ben had the best game of their season, obviously. 0 picks, 4 touchdowns, over 300 passing yards. He just lit up the Bengals defense, and it wasn't even funny. But the problem with the Steelers that game, if I had to list something wrong, their rushing offense, it's non-existent. Obviously, the Bengals probably played that way. Maybe they intentionally did that so Big Ben will be forced to throw the football because they're thinking, oh man, this dude hasn't practiced in a week, he's not going to be good. They were wrong. But still, the rushing offense was non-existent at some points in the game. Big Ben just literally carried. Can't deny the facts. So, obviously, I don't know if this video is worth making because I think everyone knows the Steelers are going to win. But I got to talk about the Jaguars and Steelers because this rivalry has been pretty good over the last 5 years. If you don't know, these two teams played each other twice in 2017. The Steelers went 13-3 and got the 2nd seed. Jaguars won 10-6, I believe, got the 3rd seed. The Jaguars beat the Steelers at Heinz Field. And, that was disappointing. But they destroyed them, of course. And then in the playoffs, they do it again. And you gotta wonder why. And it's because Big Ben was throwing picks. The following season, they played the Jaguars once again in Jacksonville. Big Ben got his revenge. But a key factor in all those games that he played in were the picks. And that is something that Big Ben has gotten so much better at this season. He's only threw 4 interceptions, and 3 of them were in one game against the Titans. 3 of them. Meaning, if that Titans game didn't occur, Big Ben would have 1 interception in 8 games. This clearly just shows how the year off for Ben Roethlisberger just made him better. It made his decision making better, and overall he's making better plays. Of course, that comes with the help of their offense, which is just elite. And I'm sorry, Jacksonville, but you're definitely going to have a hard time containing Juju, Deontay Johnson, Claypool, and Ebron. There's no doubt about that. What the Jaguars did good, I guess they did good for a while, was containing Davante Adams, but ultimately he scored a couple touchdowns. But in return of Davante Adams getting, triple teamed basically, we see that Marquez Valdez-Scantling was open for those big plays, that 70-something yard touchdown, 4 receptions for 149 yards. This just shows how the second receiver, which is very important, is open. And that is going to be a problem for the Jaguars defense because the Steelers have so many receivers that are talented enough. James, Juju, Deontay, and Chase Claypool, all threats to every team they play. And you don't know where Ben Roethlisberger is going to throw the football. It's different every week. And honestly, we saw that Bengals game. Every receiver had equal distribution of the football. And that's how this team performed so well. And the Jaguars are going to have a hard time containing that threat. The Jaguars are not going to have a fun day on defense. But their defense did play surprisingly well against the Packers, almost beat them. And I can say that because they contained the threat. Davante Adams, that's a threat right there. And unfortunately, like I just said, there are too many threats on the offense for the Steelers. So the Jaguars defense is not going to have a good day. Doesn't even matter if the rushing defense for the Jaguars plays good. Doesn't matter because the Steelers do not run the football anymore. It's rare. Honestly, you'll see like 5 runs a half per game. Honestly, who cares? The Steelers are playing good on offense. Let's look at the other side of the ball. Of course, we have the Jaguars offense, Jake Luton, their QB for now. I don't know if he'll be playing. Maybe Gardner Minshew's back, but he'll probably play this game. He didn't have impressive numbers. His QBR was pretty bad. 169 yards against the Packers and 1 touchdown. So obviously not a good performance. Shows why this team's 1-8. But the bright spot of this team, of course, is their running back, James Robinson. Dude's a monster, and he has very well running skills. Dude gets 109 rushing yards. The only bright spot for this offense, basically. I'm not going to say the receivers are bad. The receivers played pretty good, but at the same time, their quarterback is a random person. Obviously, Steelers defense lights out, passing game lights out, rushing defense lights out. So I expect this defense to play good against the Jaguars offense, kind of common sense. So if the Jaguars want to win this game, they're going to have to turn the ball over. They got to pick off Big Ben, just like they have before. Maybe it'll happen a couple times, maybe not, I doubt it. But another key factor for the Jaguars to win this game is to effectively run the football. And the Bengals had the opportunity to do that, but they just didn't. And they just got a little scared. Joe Burrow got scared. They didn't run the football. They had the chance. Steelers' defensive line was playing bad previous weeks. But I think that's fixed now. But if the Jaguars want to win, it's all in the hands of James Robinson. The picks, though. The Jaguars defense needs interceptions. It's not going to happen, unfortunately. And the Steelers should easily take this win over the Jaguars. Like I said before, comment down below what you think the score of the game is going to be. Personally, I think the score is going to be like 28-10, maybe 28-7, maybe 28-3, somewhere around there. So that is it. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Adios.